Welcome to the Your Little Castle Show, where we highlight the best experts that make your home into your little castle. Let's go! Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Your Little Castle Show. We are in studio with one of my, can I call you a hero? You're one of my heroes, man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. I'm going to jump right into it. A good friend of mine who's been a leader in our community for a long time, doing great work to really impact, what's going on in this little world, and especially in St. Louis. So everybody say hello to my friend, Brook Dubman. Brook, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Carter. I think that's probably the best introduction I've ever had. And, didn't know I was your hero, but you're my hero.
Okay.
I love you, Carter. I mean, you're a guy that's always out to help charities and figure out what you can do to promote them and bring more awareness for the cause, and then people want to open up their pocketbooks.
Well, and that helps make the world go round also. I mean, it's a matter of if we're going to do things to make a difference, we got to do something that makes a difference, and the money is what makes it. I mean, that's just, it's either you trade your time or you trade your money if you're going to make a difference to help people. So that's what's got to happen.
Yeah, they can't do it without the time either. That's right. They need people's time.
And so a lot of that stuff is what really it makes it happen. So charities, business, philanthropic, that's a complicated word for a lot of people to say, but I've learned what the word philanthropic is essentially charitable, or if you have a philanthropic mind, and you're big on that, man. You've got a couple things that you really support, and I think are awesome, and that makes a big difference too. And if everybody just picked one cause, right, then we could really make the world a great place.
True.
And so I think that's kind of a key way to live on this little planet. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about why you're on the show here today. And I was just proud when I reached out to you and I said, hey, man, can you sponsor the show? And you're like, let's make this happen, cowboy, right? We'll do this.
Yep.
And I was really excited about that. So tell everybody what you like so far from what you've seen. And we haven't gone, I didn't give you the whole overview, but just based on the concept, I think we talked a little bit about what do you think about this show and your little castle.
Well, I think the show is going to do great. And you're going to take it places because people like to listen and watch because you're entertaining and you cover good topics, So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer, and I'm happy to be here and be a sponsor.
Yeah, we're always having fun. We're on the Cowboy Show. It's been the Cowboy Show forever, and I said we're starting a new show, and we want to help the community in another way, and everybody needs to have a place to reside, right? We call this. A lot of people live in their own little castle, right? So now we've got the show. It's called Your Little Castle. I've already talked to ABC, and we sent them the demo. They're excited about it, and we've filmed a bunch of shows already. So everybody, this is one of the first shows, and if you're watching this on ABC, then great. If you're watching it on the new a lot of people watch TV on the interwebs. Have you seen this, right? Hulu, Netflix, and then there's this new thing called YouTube. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
Has it changed the world a little bit? Talk about the business side of the world, and maybe we'll start with a little bit about how the internet has changed the business, because you've been doing this since you were 27 years old, and
unless you count when I was 14.
Well, unless you count and that's when you took over, right?
At 27.
But you were working in the company since you were 14, right?
Yeah.
And so now you run it since you were 27. I know you're like 29 now or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe even 32.
I don't know how old you are because I've never even asked you. We've hung out a lot, but I know you got to be close to my age. I know friends that went to high school with you. Everybody starts talking a little bit like, oh, I went to school with Brook, and I know so-and-so when they see you on TV or whatever with us. And so, but yeah, very successful for a long period of time. Let's jump right into how the internet has kind of changed the way the world goes.
Oh, my goodness.
What has it done to your business?
Oh, my goodness. Well, with us, it's been pretty cool that, we have a vast, almost infinite selection of furniture on our website, which we didn't have years ago. And, and it's a great place to do preliminary shopping. And so that's one thing that's been terrific. And, like another thing, to reach people with the advertising for me, I was regular TV commercials. I was a little old school, lots of regular radio commercials, but now it's a little more tricky because we do advertise online and we're in a lot of different places. But for me, it's so infinite. But we ship now. People buy from us from other states, and it's cool. it's, they can get on there and look at the room planner
Well,
and try to start setting up the room.
I'll tell you what, now that you mentioned that, I was going to jump to it. I showed you where we can pull up your website and put it on the screen. So I'm going to share with everybody your website. And so here it is. Now you're in the corner still. So everybody wave your hand up, everybody, Brooke. They can still see you. There you are. So yeah, see Brooke in the corner there. But this is the Carroll House. It's carrollhouse.com. It's not like Carroll House Furniture because you got it, man. That helps. I'm an internet marketing guy. My years at Anheuser-Busch, 10 years there, and then ever since. And literally, this internet thing is catching on. And so you've got to get this thing down. Your site looks dynamite. And
thank you.
The thing that I learned about, because you were on the Cowboy Judge show with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a leader in the community, which you are, so then that's what that show's all about. And so I learned that you actually, I mentioned to, I felt kind of oops, I kind of messed it up. I found a price that was the same as your price. And you're
yeah.
And you're like, no, we beat the price. And I'm like, you do? I actually know that's true now. And I recalled it. I said during that, I said, wait a minute, it was actually $1 cheaper or a little bit less cost because you beat everybody in the country.
Mm-hmm.
In the country.
Mm-hmm. And normally it works for us with our initial prices because we price that way to begin with. And on a rare occasion, something like that happens. But regardless of the situation, after we give the lowest price, we give free delivery, free setup, interest-free financing, and free in-home design.
Free in-home design, ladies and gentlemen. So now you know that if you want to get something that looks beautiful and you don't have that special ability to make it look the way you know that it should, right? Because you spend a lot of money on some really nice furniture, but you got it all look the right way, right? You just pile everything and colors don't match and all that stuff. That's what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Help people
Absolutely.
make it. Talk about that real quick.
Because we have a lot of customers that like to pick their own things, and if they like it and they put it together, then that's really what matters. If they enjoy it and they're comfortable, and then we've got others that they've got their things that they like, but they're not sure how to tie it all together. And some of these people, which is kind of like me, I like the room to turn out like your favorite magazine picture.
Yeah.
And the designer just makes that very possible. And since we don't charge for that, and we still get them the guaranteed lowest price in the country, it's just a win-win.
All right, I'm putting this together. It's not just the best price you get in town. It's also you get the best price, including a designer. When you said that, I was like, you get designer, but the things go together. That's really an extra bonus just for buying the furniture from you guys at Carroll House. Mm-hmm. All right, so you do that as well. I mean, that's just I've been to your showrooms, both of them. They're beautiful. They're always well kept. I mean, it's just an incredible order. You're like the epitome of professional businessman.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that, ladies and gentlemen. You think he's been around for so long in business because he's doing this anything less than top notch? That's not how you roll to make it in this planet. My estimation, based on what I've learned, and then watching people like yourself. The showrooms are unbelievable. The locations are great. What do you think would be the one secret you would share with everybody that helped you just, if there's one, I mean, there's probably a list, but what would be the biggest secret you would share with everybody? This is critical. And I don't even know what to say. I mean, take a guess, but
I would say that you're right. There's a whole lot of things we feel set us apart from the competition. Some of those things are a little and some of them are a lot. But taking care of our employees and taking care of our customers, just goes a long way, because we've been in business 57 years, and people that work for us have good things to say, and the customers that have bought from us, we've sold over 1 million customers in our history, and so our reputation speaks for itself, and so people are generally pretty comfortable coming to Carroll House to shop for furniture.
Well, you got 1 million customers. I don't know how many people know how many people live in St. Louis, but the whole population is only about 3 million, 3.3.
Right.
So now spread out over 50 years, that's not like 1 out of 3, but it's not far. I mean,
so Carter, now what you're going to be doing,
that's pretty amazing.
You're going to be going around and you're going to be asking 3 people in a row, have you ever shopped or have you ever bought at Carroll House? And I know you're going to try to prove me wrong, but I think you're going to find out that 1 out of 3 people have.
Well, you really think about it, because then you got to divide that by the number of people that live in the house. Mm-hmm. Because if the furniture doesn't just serve the one person that is in the house, Everybody gets to use that furniture, so they all have experience.
I promise when a family of 5 comes shopping at our store, I'm not calling that 5 customers.
Okay, all right. I wasn't going there, but you're right. Somebody in the audience like, oh, wait a minute. Nope. But it's 1 million people have actually said, here's my credit card, here's my checking book, or whatever, cash. That's amazing, man. Now, keep it in perspective, guys. This is like legit, like, I mean, it might sound like a million. No, that's like, hey, if you've made it, this is what you can say. And that's just like, we're legit, we've made it happen, man. When you got a million, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's really awesome.
All right, and it's mostly, you think, attributed to the fact that you have had great customer service, and you actually said employees first. Taking care of your employees was the first thing you said.
Well, what we aim for is for a customer to come in and feel the love from the employee, and it works in different ways. But when you've just got an employee that is adequate, that's they need more training, and hopefully they learn how to really love what they're doing and become the best at it. And we have a lot of people like that.
Okay, so when you say taking care of your employees, that's not just here's the paycheck, show up on time, sell some stuff. Training is a key to that, obviously, too. And so I know that there's been a lot of businesses that I've had to, when I started, and I got my college degree, and then I had my master's degree when I was 24, after a coma that nobody expected me to pull off, but I did. They still said, there's more training, right? I never forgot, I went to, this maybe was just something to talk about, because this is maybe relative. Stephen Covey, I still remember this, I was 25 or 26 years old, so this is like 6 or 7 years ago, everybody, or more. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Have you ever heard about this book?
I think so, yeah.
And I would bet, and I don't remember what the things were. Somebody looked that up and then sent us a Facebook or a message and tell us. But that book, it nailed down all the things that were absolutely critical, and they all tied to the real world, but they also then corresponded to how you treat people relative to business, right? Mm-hmm. And those principles are what make successful, and it's treating people right. Mm-hmm. It's not just that you like nice things, everybody, right? Everybody likes nice things, but you got to treat people nice too. That's what you've said.
Yeah. We have, terrific flexibility in our company. Being a local family business, so our employees love that and enjoy that, and we have the best benefits around. And as a matter of fact, we're looking for sales associates now.
Are you?
And, yes. And so, if somebody has a good work ethic and a decent personality, we will train them to sell furniture. It's a great training program, and they can do quite well working for us. So that's something people ought to consider.
Well, look at that, ladies. If you like nice things and you know that you want to work for an employer that treats their employees nicely, then it might be an opportunity to get a nice job. We're nice here a lot because that's a key perspective on life, I guess, for a lot of people.
Because you like nice things.
Because you like nice things. That's the key. We talked about, watch the Cowboy Judge show. We covered exactly where that came about. That was a really interesting story too.
Thank you.
Somebody just had to pick up and figure out, hey, here's where all you do your thing. And it's really a matter of these days of who gets the most attention within the world. And there's a world best-selling book. It essentially is, you have to get attention. That's the thing you have to figure out to get, because now there's 5 million ways that people try to get your attention, right? It used to be just channel 2, 4, 5, 9, 11, 30 when we were kids, right? And now it's 475 television stations and 300 million websites, and so it just becomes a convoluted mess. But if you have a concise, to-the-point message, and you can get out in front of the audience. So the thing that is really, I think, exciting about our shows, because I've been working with ABC for a long time now, and I've had a few shows on ABC, so this is going to be my 3rd show on ABC. And the first one I started kind of just was learning and got that going, and then it got picked up and then morphed into the 2nd show. And then I said, I got to start a 3rd show for what we really want to focus on, and that's small businesses related to, and this is all going to be related to, the household. So if you have a house, there's a whole lot of things you need based on that. But if you have a household, meaning if you have a family, there's definitely some things that you've got to have part of. And one of our first clients, I won't mention their name yet, but they are actually, they called me back and I said, absolutely, I want to be on this, and you don't realize what you've got your hands on, Cowboy, and it's going to be awesome. And I said, you're right. And he's a marriage counselor. So that's what we want to say. We've got a roofing company. We've got Carroll House Furniture. We've got a long list now of stuff, and we've got some big, I can't even say some of them yet because the deal's not final, but they told me it's done. We just got to work out the details. And people want to be part of this because it really helps rejuvenate and help a community.
The community. I mean, that's a big part of it, right?
If you would like to be on the Your Little Castle show, get a hold of us. Go to yourlittlecastle.com or text us at 314-504-9007. And now back to our show. All right, so
we were talking about the in-home design, right?
Yeah.
So
okay, go ahead.
our designers, they are the ones that also do our home staging. And considering you're talking about my little castle here, and so like we are another place to go when it comes to, we deal with loads of St. Louis real estate agents,
right?
And and their customers come and buy furnishings and sometimes use our designers for home staging and so forth.
Well, that's what I understand. Another key service, and I was given some privy information. I don't know if I'm saying anything that isn't out in the public yet, but staging, you're offering that as a service, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So if a realtor says, I have a house and name for me one house that's ever been ready to be sold and everything was just beautiful and ready for the optimum, because you want it to look great so that you can get the best price for the house, right?
Right.
You got a place that looks like the gutters are falling off or whatever, and the inside, this furniture's turned upside down. People are going to go, I'm going to give you $70,000 less than probably what it's worth just because of the way it looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so staging, for most people, they don't realize how critical that is, and that's not something you're offering. It kind of makes sense because I bet you have access to furniture that could really make that easy. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. So when people do the home staging through us, they get new furnishings in the home. It's not, furniture that's been moved to 3 dozen different homes as they got sold and became sort of maybe a little not so fresh looking.
Right. Well, I mean, how many times do you have to move furniture before it gets pretty beat? My parents used to do the scratch and dent because you can get a heck of a deal, but they were always scratched and dented pretty nicely, and that's not what you want to present to people either.
No.
Right.
No.
So you're saying it's brand new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any way that they can keep that furniture, or how does
Yes.
that work? I heard something about that, but again, I won't speak out of turn. So
tell
people how that works.
So that's the second thing that sets our home staging apart. So not only do they get a bigger selection and it's all new, but if they want to buy out the home furnishings, let's say the customer for the home wants the furnishings. Well, they can buy out the contract with us, and if they do that, then there's no delivery fees or pickup fees or designer fees to set it up, and no leasing fees for the staging either. So they'll get the furnishings at the guaranteed lowest price in the country with no extra fees. And I don't know of any other home stagers that offer that.
That's a pretty large incentive to help people realize that they're going to save even more money. So you're already going to get the best price. Now you're going to save all kinds of other costs.
Yeah.
Is it possible? And I'm just thinking as a guy who does numbers, can we throw this into the loan? Can they do that? Do you know if that's possible or not?
That's a good question.
Okay. We'll talk to our finance guys about that.
What I do know is when they do lease the furniture for the staging from us, they can write off that expense as the advertising expense for the home.
Okay. So we'll get an update about that, the specifics about that, because I know how long have you been offering this program?
We've been doing this about a handful of years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just those, that's an incredible option to be able to, hey man, we got new furniture too, and we don't have to wait for it to get shipped and coordinate all of that and get it all done. It's here, and we just got to continue to do what we were going to do anyway, which is move into the house, right?
Yes.
All right. So now we've covered quite a bit that is really sets Carroll House Furniture apart. Let's talk about the St. Louis community a little bit, and tell me, why is it you find St. Louis to be home all your life, right? And you told me you've moved around town. You said it on our show. You've lived in multiple areas of St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And what do you love most about St. Louis in this part of the world?
Oh, most? Well, I like the size of St. Louis. I don't think it's too, I personally don't like places that are bigger because they become so crowded. and I'm not a traffic kind of guy, or
Right.
I don't like waiting in lines.
Nobody likes that.
I'm glad St. Louis isn't smaller, because there's so many things to do here with the size of St. Louis. Something's always going on, and I love the cost of living is terrific. And the seasons are nice, and the people are nice.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't realize what incredible. I don't like to say anything other than, we're somewhere between Newark and LA, right? But we're the baseball mecca of the world, right? Some people say with the St. Louis Cardinals, Cardinal Cowboy. I got my hat here, right? You guys have seen me running around at the Cardinal games, and just a lot of fun. I think baseball helped me to survive my coma and pull out of that. But the whole city kind of comes together like that in a way that you don't find. I don't think. I've been to other cities. I haven't lived in any other cities, so I can't really say. But I have experienced the traffic in some of these other cities.
Right.
And some of these cities that you go to, I'll just say, I've spent some time in Atlanta doing some work down there. And Atlanta, holy mackerel. I mean, Atlanta's grown dramatically. I researched it a little bit to find out that it's really like after the Olympics, and then Turner Broadcasting, and then now movies are being shot down there, and it's just grown dramatically. Almost every city has a similar design with one big loop like 270 does here. They all have that big highway that goes all the way around. But in Atlanta, I love everybody. Love you guys, Atlanta. Go Braves. Cardinals first. But it was bumper to bumper from like 8 in the morning till 6 at night. I mean, like, usually it's a break in between. In St. Louis, there is that a little bit, but it's like from 4:30 to 5:30, and you slow down. You don't even get shut down. But it was just bumper to bumper. St. Louis, like you said, they don't have that huge size, but they also have everything you ever wanted to do. What are the favorite things you love to do in St. Louis? I know you get out and have fun around the town a little bit. What are some of the things you enjoy the most?
I like to go out to Hidden Valley and ski.
Do you really?
I like to go out
didn't know
to
that.
the river and boat.
I've seen you there.
Yeah. I like to go to concerts, and I like to go to the Fox Theater.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, I like the plays at the Fox.
I've seen you at Busch Stadium.
Oh, the Cardinals. Well,
Right?
Yeah. Love it.
Is that fun? Is that fair to say?
Hell yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I just think St. Louis offers so much that the rest of the world, it's kind of a hidden gem. And the other thing, not to go into how awesome St. Louis is, we can talk about it for an hour. But another little secret from the perspective of, it does snow here. We got snow. It happened to get snow today. And everybody was like, I heard people were running to the grocery stores and buying everything out. And we got 2 inches of snow. Because people are like, but that's all we get around here. Sometimes we get 10 inches here and one-time snow. But 90% of the time, there's no snow through the entire winter. Maybe 95. Sometimes there's not snow at all, like a little sprinkle here and there.
Yeah.
Every once there's a big storm. But you get. My point is, you get a taste of all seasons here. Because then on the river and around the areas around the world, the bluffs, you've seen those bluffs over there on the Illinois side, because we're right next to Illinois, 4.5 hours from Chicago, 4 hours from Kansas City, 4 hours from Nashville, 3.5 hours from Memphis. I've driven all those. You're close to everywhere, but you get every season here. And those trees, talk about the seasonal stuff you get in St. Louis real quick, if you agree with that. And that has something to do with furniture and indoor furniture, outdoor furniture, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Because you don't want to get outside as the seasons change.
That is true. And so that's just an awesome other additional feature that you get from St. Louis. And then summers are hot, but not blazing hot to where but you love that part of the world that time of year, because you can just be outside and there's beaches. They're not quite as crystal clean or whatever. The sand is a darker color. It's not like you have white sand beaches in California or Florida or whatever. Mm-hmm. If they're not already polluted with whatever, I shouldn't say, but I mean, the beaches here are beautiful too, fun, and it's like the beach is 20 minutes away.
Out on the river.
Right on the river. People are like, there's beaches on a river? There are.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun too?
Yeah, if somebody hasn't been out there, they need to try it, because they don't realize. They say, you go out there? I'm like, yeah, it's close and it's fun. You can come home and sleep in your own bed that night.
Yes, and just enjoy it. Yes, it's an incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an incredible opportunity, I believe, with this little show that we're going to help all the businesses. The idea here is that everybody's got their own little castle, right? Whether it's a big castle, a small castle, it's your little castle, and you want it to have everything that you need for your household, for your family. And so if you're a business owner and you have a product or a service that you can offer to a family, which doesn't narrow it down a whole lot, right? Because most everybody, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a mechanic, you got to have a house, you got to have a method to get to work and pick up things. You need a car. So go down the list, go out to yourlittlecastle.com and take a look at all of what we've put out there. And we've already had, I'm like working 18, 20-hour days right now to get this thing organized. And I've got some help from some people that are really good at what they do. My co-producer is an actor out of LA. It's a longtime friend. He's also a producer. He produced America's Most Wanted. And then he said he really wanted to help me, and then he saw the show that I produced. He said, you really don't need any help with production. It looks pretty good. There's always room for improvement or anything you do. But that's the kind of stuff we're going for. That's what we want to help present so that small businesses can really get their word out. Would you agree that getting the word out about your business may be the most important thing you have to do for the survival of your business?
Yeah, we're fortunate we get so much word of mouth.
But that took a long time to develop.
I
put 57 years in business. It took you like the first 5 years probably.
Yeah. My dad had to go through that part, but yeah, that's plenty of advertising money's been spent in 57 years.
Yeah, you still advertise very, very readily,
sure,
of course, and word of mouth is part of that. But getting to that where people know you as a common known business in the area that they all respect depends how big you want this thing to be. But if you want it to be big enough to really survive and sustain, boy, big corporate companies come around all the time and they try to do everything they can to take every little piece of the pie. But small businesses, as a business consultant, ladies and gentlemen, somebody who's done this for years, you can be much more diverse and respond to adversity or change more quickly. And that's why small businesses do so well. And I can help you with that. I show you the digital side of everything. I talk to business all the time about you're really putting the carriage before the horse in this particular situation because you need this problem fixed first, and all of it can be done through advertising, marketing, and online. And we'll help you with that because Your Little Castle show is founded on what we can do to help these small businesses. That all make sense?
Yes.
Do you think we got some work to do to help some people, Brook?
Well, some people need more help, and some people don't want help. But if they're going to let you help them, I bet you will. Yeah,
well, that's the key to this. And I've dedicated diehard. People look up my family background, and fortunate to have two educators as my parents, and they just pretty much drilled into my head, you better do something to help somebody, or you're just not going to be happy. That's kind of the way it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're not doing things to be positive and help people, life is not easy. And that's why we got to go to a charity event tonight. So we're getting ready to head out to that. We're going to be there in a few minutes, and we appreciate you guys all staying tuned in here to the Your Little Castle show. Here are our local leaders, Brook Dubman, right here in studio in the Your Little Castle. This is the Carroll House studio because they're sponsors of our show here, the title sponsors for our studio. So greatly appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. And
good. It was good. It was fun. Good to be with you.
There it is. All right. I didn't tell him to say that. He said that because he really feels it. I hope, right?
Yes.
We have fun with this stuff. It's going to be fun. We want to make it fun. That's the way the world is supposed to be fun, too, while you're helping people. Thank you, Brook.
Thank you, Carter.
All right. You're awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Brook Dubman, we'll be back with more excitement. Stay tuned. Check out all the videos, all the insightful information you can get from experts that really know the tricks of the trade. This is the idea. The tricks of the trade that you won't find because you're in the middle of a buy, you're in the middle of a big purchase, and you're going, I don't even know what these people are talking about. You'll get those clues and those hints about what you should be knowing about a big purchase, a small purchase, something important to your family, right here on the Your Little Castle show. Thanks, everybody. Giddy up.